All right, everybody. Welcome. We are back for the UFC 317 post-fight show. We are wrapped and packed from the International Fight Week extravaganza in Las Vegas, Nevada. As you can tell, as you can hear, the victory drums, they sound for Ilia Topuria, the brand new UFC lightweight champion of the world. He just runs over Charles Oliveira. This fight, I mean, outside of a leg lock attempt for Charles Oliveira, not competitive. It went exactly the way most people thought it would. And Ilia Topuria is now the new lightweight champion. He faces off with Paddy Pimblett at the very end of the night, which we supported, and I think most people in the watch party chat supported. Apparently, there is one man who did not support that, and we'll discuss that in a matter of moments. Alexander Pantoja dominates Kai Kara France, gets it done. We had a fight of the year contender and just a fun main card all around, and really one of the scariest knockouts that I can remember in a UFC fight. But we are here to react to all of it. I'm Mike Heck, back with Jed Meshew here in Living Room 4.0 following the watch party. Just a fun-ass night. It's nice when these cards that you build up in your mind and you think this could be really good actually goes out and delivers, because this one kicked ass, man. It really did.
100%. And like, I was really high on this card coming in. I give it 2 Michelin stars. It delivered. Not every card on paper delivers, but I, did a cursory sort of social media check. And when people I respect, but people who are curmudgeonly, a little down on the UFC, everybody agrees. Like, I think this was the best card of the year. It's a card where, we're going to be talking about this for a long time, not just because we do have a week off, which facilitates more conversation, but because a lot of significant, important things, stories developed. A fighter continues to sort of carve out this career that it's very early. I don't want to be this guy. The rest of the internet already would like to be this guy. Is shaping up to be a Hall of Fame unrivaled career. Took another big step. Alexander Pantoja, like, so many things to talk about, but mostly it was just fucking fun, man. Like, it was just a damn good time. Certainly from the paid portion, the early prelims, I had a fun bit of time with our boy Guzzi in there, but Jacoby Smith had a great performance. As we built a lot of more finishes than decisions going on in this card, I believe. The decisions were usually like really fun fights in their way. And then a couple really highlight marks, like, if you paid $80, $90, whatever it is, $100, I don't know what we're charging anymore for these damn things.
85 after the taxes.
85, then I feel like you got $85 worth, like this is, and that is not a thing we say all the time. They delivered good internet, like a great international fight week card.
And that's the thing, folks. There's, I don't get it as much anymore, because I think more people have just jumped on the side, but there are people who are like, you just do this stuff to be negative. Like, you be negative.
Never been negative in my life.
We're not negative. We tell it like it is. When the UFC doesn't try and does bad things, we will say that. But when they do good things and it delivers, we'll tell you that too. This delivered. This is a great job. This is a great built card. Getting Ilia on there, all the drama that surrounded it after JDM won the belt, like, this fell into place beautifully for the UFC, and it fell beautifully into place for Ilia Topuria, who just went out there and just obliterated Charles Oliveira. And to Charles's credit, he made people believe. He made people believe that he could go in there and win, and that Ilia was biting off more than he could chew, that he should have stayed at 145, that even fighting a guy like Charles Oliveira, who stylistically he had a lot of advantages over, this is Charles Oliveira. This is the 3rd or 4th greatest lightweight of all time. He's just going to be too big. He's a finishing machine. He's a mauler. Ilia might lose this fight, and Ilia just killed him in a half a round.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, like, this guy is so good. So I might be putting pressure on you, and we talked about this at the end of the watch party, but I'm going to go ahead and just ask you right now. You said these exact words after he knocked out Max Holloway. Ilia Topuria is the best effing fighter in the world. He's the best fighter in the world. He was the fighter of the year. You said those words. Now that he has done this to Charles Oliveira and made it look so easy, is he the best fighter in the world?
Maybe. If you rank him that, I still haven't figured out. I've got to drive home after we do this show. I'll drive home and, wrap up the evening with some work. I'll think about it on the drive. very strongly considering. I am a little bit in a different boat than a lot of people with regard to this. Not that this wasn't impressive, but this was the expected outcome for me.
Yeah.
I was pretty clear in everything I wrote and said, I think he's just going to kill him. I had still had questions, right? And I feel like I got some answers, which I'm really happy about, because I did have questions. But my default answer to those questions like, what's Ilia going to look like as a lightweight? We've seen him up once before, struggled. That was a long time ago, different circumstances. But as a true lightweight against a true lightweight and a good one, how does he deal with it? Well, I got an answer. I would have thought that this was the answer I got, but now I have the answer. Will his power translate up? I would have thought, yeah, because I saw him carve Jai Herbert in half. Still got the answer definitively, as opposed to like, like I still got to learn some things, but my default position was he is gonna kill this man. And so I don't know how much to weight that, because you can't knock him for it. You can't take it away like, oh, well, you thought he was going to kill him. But at the same time, is that as impressive as Murad Dvalishvili, who I did not think was going to beats Umar, and then finishes Sean O'Malley in a fight I was absolutely certain he was just going to be boring on? Like, I don't know. So I'm going to have to weigh a couple of things. If you want to put him in number one, I got no issue with it. Is a very defensible take. He is on a really special run right now. If you also just want to go, look, Islam had it, Islam hasn't lost it. Okay. I'm less open to that idea, frankly, because I do think like, give it to him. If that's your only logic is like Islam didn't lose it, dude, just give it to Ilia, because Islam has a chance to take it right back. Because like, if I do move him up and Islam beats Jack Della, well, then Islam takes it back. And that's okay for them to sort of swap the position with Dricus du Plessis, who's about to get in that mix, boys and girls. Just you wait. But like, if you want to put him up there, I got no issue with it, and I may well. Like, I'm just gonna have to. I gotta figure out how much I'm gonna rate this, because it's undeniably good, but it is a little weird to be like, we should laud him for this thing that somebody's 450 betting favorite or whatever. Like, that feels like that plays at least some factor.
Yeah, I think it was just the effortless nature of the win.
It was effortless,
because I don't think I saw that coming. Like, I picked Ilia to win. I had a bet on him by KO. My pick was he's going to finish him in the second or third round. I just didn't see him just nuking Charles in a half a round, just and doing it with such ease, and just seeing the way he knocked him out. And it was just like, damn.
I didn't think he'd put him cold like that. And that's the thing. Like, I got another answer. I thought his power translated up beautifully, because we see Charles get hurt and dropped a lot. Like, that's why I thought this fight was so bad for him. He's definitely going to get dropped. But I thought it would be, he gets dropped, he gets up, he gets dropped, pounded out. Like, actually, he just killed him. And so, I don't know. We'll see. There's a really good chance that he is, maybe not because I do, maybe not because you do. I think we are probably looking at the new pound for pound number one fighter in the MMA Fighting Global rankings come Monday morning.
It's possible. I don't think I'm going to do it right now, because I just, Islam, it's just Islam, man. Like, he's so good. Okay. He's earned this spot, and, he's just run through everybody. He's done it so dominantly. He's just been so good. And I understand like the Moicano one is just a weird one, but that's not his fault.
No, he also just fucked up Moicano.
Yeah, it just melted him.
But again,
you want to talk about non-competitive.
But the same rule also applies. Everyone expected him to do that. Yeah. How much do you credit? I don't know. These are hard questions to answer, frankly.
100%. So
also,
please,
Pantoja. Maybe we need to start putting some respect on the Cannibal's name. I know we'll talk about him, but my guy, that man is in top form right now.
Spoiler alert, there is no drama with the bonuses, but we have them.
This is the easiest bonus call.
Yeah, we don't even need to guess them
of the year.
If you watch this fight or read at MMAfighting.com, it's a terrific website, and we provided you all the highlights, everything you would have needed. Very obvious who the bonuses were. Fight of the night, Brandon Royval versus Josh Van, which will, if this is not on the fight of the year list at the end of the year, I will be absolutely stunned.
It'll mean we had a great year.
Yeah, it'll be one of the greatest years in the history of the sport. Performance of the night, of course, Ilia Topuria getting 50K, and Gregory Rodriguez gets the other 50K
there was just
for
never a doubt what was happening in this
one
card.
of the truly scary knockouts that I've seen in a long time.
Per Dana White at the post-fight press conference, Brandon Royval getting his win bonus as well for accepting the fight on short notice and putting on a hell of a performance.
You mentioned Dana White, and I think it's important to keep him involved in this conversation as we wrap up the main event.
Because he's dumb.
If you guys watched the event and we reacted on the watch party, Ilia Topuria wins. He calls out Paddy Pimblett. And it's a great call out.
He did. I was so proud of him, Mike. I was so proud of him.
Ilia Topuria is just tremendously good at this. Like this, he is the definition. You just look at him and it's like, this guy does the thing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows how to play the game. Calls out Paddy. Tremendous call out. Perfectly done. Paddy is allowed to go in to the octagon. They have the face off. They start talking shit to each other, and Ilia shoves him in just kind of a moment that we expected.
It was the funniest shove I've ever seen.
And we're just like, all right, this is good. We did the thing. We're setting up the massive fight. It's perfect. Dana White says to the press conference, that wasn't supposed to happen.
He's the worst fucking promoter in the world.
What are you talking about?
He's the worst promoter in the world. Like, even if that's true, and I assume that is true. Dana said it. Actually, this is one of those times I'll take Dana at face value.
Of course.
Why say it? Nobody was nobody was mad about it other than Justin Gaethje and Arman Tsarukyan. The fans were into it. It built real heat. You don't even have to do the fight. You don't have to do it. You should, and I think they will. But why would you shit on your own promotion? Like, that's just bad promoting. You could just be like, you know what? That was unplanned. I didn't see that coming, but sometimes some organic things happen out there. Maybe we'll go with it. I don't make fights after fight night or whatever, but there's certainly some interest there. We'll see how things play out. It says I don't know why they did that. People were having fun, and that's bullshit. Can't be doing that nonsense because why not is the other question. Dana, today, it was that Dana said Arman is not next in line. That the weighing in as a backup was a good step in the right direction, but wasn't like, oh, he's the backup, he's next. So is it Gaethje? Is it you're just going to do Justin the solid? Okay, no one's going to be upset with that either, but you don't have to die on that hill. It was unbelievably stupid of him to be like, that was terrible. I was very dumb. I don't get that one at all, man.
No, you take that moment, which, by the way, you have Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett in a moment together with how the fan base kind of looks at both of those guys.
Biggest fight the promotion can make right now.
And it was unanimously praised by everybody. No one had a bad thing to say about it. Nobody said it was contrived. I was like, the push was kind of fake and phony, but who cares? The face, just having them look at each other in the cage and talking shit to each other. That's the selling point right there.
The push isn't fake. It's just weird because he had 2 belts, which is stupid. He didn't deserve it, but separate issue. And he had 2 belts that aren't struck over him. So as soon as he lets them go, they'll fall. So he had to keep his hands together so the belts wouldn't fall, and then T-Rex shove him. Yeah. And it was very, very funny. These two dudes naturally hate each other. There's beef. There's a long-reigning story. Yeah. You've wanted to get Paddy in this position. He's in this position. It would be malpractice not to do it because are we pretending we're a meritocracy now? When did that happen? When did the UFC become merit-based? It's not. And you have failed to deliver the 2 fights that everybody wanted. Coming into 25, almost everybody, they wanted Ilia versus Islam, and they wanted Tom and John. And both fights aren't happening. Now, Ilia Islam, that's not gone forever, but it's gone for the foreseeable future. This is genuinely probably the biggest fight that the promotion can make at this point in time. What is your answer? What possible reason would you have to not do this? I do not understand Dana's stance here.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people in the chat saying well, because Dana and Ali are tight, Ali's probably yelling at him. I don't think Dana White gives a shit about Ali or his reaction.
What, is Ali going to stop being his friend and suddenly all of his fighters are on the outs? No.
Ali is going to tweet about how much Dana means to him tomorrow, even if he doesn't book Justin Gaethje in a title fight. It's just the way that it is. And, Ali's very successful at what he does. That's how he conducts business, and that's okay. But here's the thing that I'm thinking. I think Dana White has doubts that Islam Mokaev is going to beat Jack Della Maddalena. And I think there's a part of him that says
okay.
we as a promotion are in a win-win situation, because one, if Islam wins the welterweight title, great, we get to tell the story. If Islam loses, we get to give the fans the fight they want and do Ilia versus Islam. So
That's
is
terrific.
there a chance? And I don't know what Dana is saying right this second at the press conference, but I can pretty much guarantee you, without knowing, that his answer is going to be Tuesday, matchmaking meeting. We don't make fights after the fight. But do you think that's what they're going to do? Like, they're not going to make any decisions?
I think they're 100% going to wait.
They're going to wait until Islam fights JDM and no decision will be made no matter what.
I won't say 100% because it depends on how the timeline for Islam JDM starts shaking out. We were discussing it on the watch party. You know, if they go October, look, man, it's June. If Ilia is just like, hey, man, I want to fight by the end of the year, and Islam's not going to fight until October or November, then maybe they say, F it. We can do Ilia versus Patty in December and in November, you know, something like that, and not lose that, because that fight, as long as if Islam loses, that fight exists forever for them. Like if Islam was going to fight Jack next month, then they're absolutely waiting. I think it is more likely that we get Ilia fighting again, or at least announced, but maybe they're waiting because, you know, they're not in a rush.
Okay, so I do want to. We were a little tough on Dana.
Oh, did he say something else?
No.
Was it poorly quoted?
No, it wasn't poorly. I mean, there should have been. First of all, we should have known the source. This is just clickbaity social media stuff. The reason why Dana had an issue with Patty, or at least what he's saying, was because Ilia Topuria's wife and kid were in the octagon at the time, and bringing in another fighter to face off with him should not have happened. He said it was a bad call by whoever allowed it to happen for that reason. So I don't hate that response, honestly.
So I will retract everything I just said, because that is different. I think that's weird, but he wasn't shitting on the matchup. He was shitting on the thing. Okay, hand up. We got that one wrong. I think that is weird, but we got that one wrong. That's on us.
He reiterated, White says that Sarukian weighing in isn't about getting back into the UFC's good graces. He had an opportunity to fight for the title and didn't weigh in. He says that's a step in the right direction. If Gaethje is thinking about retiring, he should probably retire. He says that Gaethje has been an exciting, fun fighter to have in the UFC, and that his ultimatum to fight for a title or retire is, quote, wacky. White says he doesn't know what's next for Tom Aspinall yet. And Dana White thought Talbot versus Lima was incredible and was looking like fight of the night until Royval versus Van. He's excited to see what Talbot does in the future. And that was it for Dana.
And I guarantee you nobody asked a natural follow-up, because I know that it's nonsense, and I know that this is all me yelling at the clouds, Mike. But Justin Gaethje's talking about retirement. Well, he should just walk away. Motherfucker, what have we been doing for the last year with John? You didn't say it until John said, no, I'm really done. And John for months was like, yeah, I'm probably not interested in fighting. Like, it's just like, it's so transparently, because like, I don't even disagree with him that like, it is a bit ridiculous for Gaethje to be making this ultimatum, but like for that to be your stance is just like, bro, you just obviously play favorites, and it's ludicrous.
Yeah. Just to wrap on this, Ilia Topuria, Paddy Pimblett is the fight. That's it, man.
I literally think it's the biggest fight the promotion can make.
Like, just do it. Just book the fight, and then do
it before the end of the year, Ilia December, be the closing show for the year.
If Ilia beats Paddy, and then Islam wins the welterweight title, great. Then you guys have a direction to go. If not, and Islam loses, you could still do Ilia versus Islam 2026. You're good. What are we pondering here?
There is a world now, Mike, where they hold Ilia Patty for the new TV deal.
Oh, that would be such a bad idea.
But that is like, when people were like, what if they're holding Tom John? I was like, but they're not going to hold that for 14 months. They absolutely, like, because I think it's the biggest fight they can make. And if they do end up partially on Netflix or wherever it may be, that is the sort of fight that you can flagship and be like, hey, here's how we kick off our new partnership with Netflix. The biggest fight we can make. So I I hope that that's not right because I would like to see that fight before the end of the year. I would not be at all surprised if that's our January pay-per-view under whatever banner we're under.
I think that's just silly right now. I mean, they would.
I agree.
It wouldn't shock me if that's the direction they go, but you gotta. I mean, dude, Ilia is. He is this close to being the dude, to being like, for the first time in a while. And we've talked about, well, maybe Alex Pereira is a star. Like, he's probably the most popular fighter in the UFC, but he's probably not a star. Ilia Topuria is like literally this close to being a superstar, like a world-renowned global superstar.
I mean, that just bumps him. That's the one that gets him there.
Yeah, dude, that's just go. Like, just run him out there. Let him fight. If he wants to fight Patty, have him fight Patty. Do it. Like, this is your best chance to cash in with Patty too.
And he just did it, which is like, I'm so proud of him. Because I have plenty of issues with how Ilia Topuria carries himself. I just don't like a lot of it. And that's a me issue. Many people seem to really adore it. But when you change your own nickname to Lale, and that's just like the tooliest thing that can be done. And credit to him, he recognized that and changed it. I have no issue fundamentally with how he has managed his career, which is perfect. Every step of his career has been cultivated perfectly to maximize his star power, his earning potential. And sometimes, frankly, that will come at the expense of my fandom, and getting all the things we want. But why should he give a shit about that? This is his life and his bank account. This was perfect. I was genuinely concerned that he was going to come on there and be like, one, completely contradict stuff he said this week about how, because this week was just frustrating in general, where in some interviews he'd be like, well, Islam ran away from me. And then in others he'd be like, well, obviously Islam didn't. He's pursuing the same dream I am. And I thought he was going to do the same thing and be like, well, he's scared and ran to welterweights and I'm coming too in a fight that won't happen right now. And instead he did the right thing, the money fight, the fight that gets him to that level. The guy is right there. Like he has managed it perfectly, and you got to reward that, because it's not going to be Arman, because merit has no bearing in this sport at all anymore. So do it, and let's have a good time.
Honestly, obviously Ilia versus Islam is a very fascinating matchup right now.
Yeah.
It's just not realistic at the moment.
It's not.
Ilia versus Arman Tsarukyan is the most interesting fight you can make in this division. It's not the biggest, but to me, from a stylistic perspective, that is the most interesting fight you can make at 155. But we're not going to get it.
I would love to see it. And that's the thing. Like, we still may well get Ilia versus Islam. It's not going to be next. And I think that's okay, because sometimes it's okay to let fights marinate. And we can get there. And I still would be picking Islam if they ever do fight, though things can change. I am more interested after having seen this, which I said prior. I was like, I want to see him fight a lightweight, even though I thought that this is what would happen. I now have some questions answered, and I give Ilia a better chance to beat Islam right now than I did 3 days ago. And, maybe he goes and just beats the soul out of Patty. I give him an even better chance. It's okay to let that build and not try to rush to it, because there's, frankly, I agree. Ilia Arman, dope. If Justin Gaethje finds his way in there, if he's the backup fighter and gets called to service, who can be mad about watching Justin Gaethje fist fight Ilia Topuria? That would be unbelievable. Look, I'm trying to think, no one wants Gamrot. We don't have to pretend that the Gamrot fight is fun, right? Grant Dawson, who I like, we don't have to pretend that. But, Benny Dariush did some fun stuff today. That won't happen either. But, there's just no wrong way to match Ilia at lightweight. I'd like to see him have some fights here. And we'll start with Patty. It makes all the sense in the world.
There's some comments in here that I just completely disagree with, but we'll move forward.
Oh, interesting.
The no one is interested in Tom thing is
that's obviously incorrect.
That couldn't be more incorrect.
Yeah.
Everyone's interested in Tom. In fact, the vast majority of fans just want him to fight, and it does not matter who he fights. They just want him to fight because he's so goddamn good.
That's a take, though. I respect your boldness.
Yes, we do respect boldness, even though it is incredibly incorrect. But it's okay. What is not incredibly incorrect is Alexander Pantoja is an excellent fist fighter. Dude is so good. Kai Car-France had no chance in this fight. Literally no chance from Jump Street. Pants.
There's legitimately a world I put Pants as my number one guy.
Pants might be the most talented fighter
in
the UFC pound for pound.
He's so freaking good, man.
He's just so far away that he's just so far ahead of everybody he's fighting right now. However, Josh Van speed running his way to a title fight. I'm genuinely thrilled that we're going to see that fight before the end of the year.
I think Pants is going to kill him, and it's going to rock. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it will be. It's going to be a thrilling ass kicking, I think. But Josh Van, man, he might just, who the hell knows, man? Josh has caught lightning in a bottle, and he's just so fun. And the fact that we got to, and see, this is the thing, and you and I talk about this all the time. What Josh Van has done is the blueprint on becoming a guy who could speed run a career and become popular and fight for belts before anybody else, even more accomplished fighters. How do you do that, Jed?
You fist fight.
You get out there. You get out there and you fight.
It's really simple. The best way to fist fight is to fist fight. Like you shouldn't fight 6 times a year or whatever, because like there's wear and tear. I was legitimately
maybe 1 year you do that. That's how you get over.
Yeah, early. But like a genuine question. I was like, how's Van going to look? Another quick turnaround. He's been so active. At some point that does catch up to you, though. Frankly, that catches up to you as with all things. You can get away with that shit when you're 23. Your body isn't falling apart. You're still making more cells than are dying in your body at 23. So you can do this stuff. You can't, do it as much later, but like I've been on this drum forever with Bo Nickel and how like his career just got completely stunted because he fought very irregularly. Josh Van did it, and then he took this opportunity. And what I liked about this, I liked everything about this fight.
Yeah.
But I liked that this was all upside. Josh Van coming on a short notice. If he wins like he did, look at him now. And if he doesn't and just has a good performance, like if the judges had gone the other way, which shouldn't have happened, would have been a robbery. But let's say he doesn't get the knockdown at the end of the third round, and the judges go 29-28 for Royval. Not a soul alive would be like, wow, Josh Van, good career, kid. It's like, no, you're 23 and just went hammer and tongs with the number one contender. You're going to be back. It was all upside. And with the high roll of where he's at now, like this is how you do it. If you are a young fighter, you should try to fight as often as you can and still get better in between, because Josh Van's absolutely getting better in between too. But like, this is it. Learn by doing, man. Get that time in.
Yep. Cannot wait for Pantoja versus Van.
That's going to be awesome.
2 terrific performances.
And I love that we talked about Dana a little bit, and we were incorrect in that. I love that they got Van turned around. He went back. He didn't do his presser, I don't believe. They said, hey, man, throw on some shorts and a hat. We're going to sit you cage shot. They're walking right now, and we want you to be out there.
Loved it.
So you can run in there with them. It's perfect. We got the face off, some kind words between them, set it up, A+.
That's also knowing your roster a little bit too. Like Pantoja and Van aren't going to sit there and like shove each other.
No,
like they're going to go in there and be super respectful and put each other over. And it's just going to be like, damn, these 2 guys are going to fight. It's going to be awesome. And there you go. I'm very excited for this flyweight division. Very excited to see Pantoja versus Josh Van. A fight we might see more than once, Jed, if Pantoja continues his run. Because even if Pants beats him, does not mean that Josh Van can't get back there. So really looking forward to maybe a long-time rival for Pants moving forward.
Probably be that long time, just because Pants is old.
But they
could run it a couple.
Probably got two years left.
He's number one pound for pound fighter in the world. He's got so I'm genuinely I'm really thinking about it, because he's like, I would not argue Ilia has his 3 wins are better than Pantoja's. Pantoja has 9 wins. He's beaten Brandon Moreno 3 times. He's beaten Royval twice. He's beaten Kai Kara-France twice now. Like he's beaten all of the dudes multiple. Like he's done everything that can be done. And it's getting more it's getting more dominant. He is looking better every time out. I'm really considering putting him at number 1.
We're gonna go to the peeps. Shout out to Betty Dariush, gets the win.
Let's say run down the results just so we can.
Shout out to Betty Dariush as well, getting the victory. That was a fun ass fight. shout out to Peyton Talbot and Felipe Lima. That was a great fight. And Talbot in general, because people were just already off the train on him after the Ione Barcelos loss. What a great
It's not
fight,
like
great
a y'all must have forgot performance, because like you kind of can't be a y'all must have forgot for a 26-year-old or whatever. But like that was a, why the hell did you all just decide I sucked overnight? Like I know that was a bad fight, but sometimes one bad fight is just that. Great performance from Talbot.
Yeah, Greg Rodriguez again, one of the scariest knockouts you'll ever see. Jack Hermanson,
I would say scariest knockout of the year for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean
trying to think, like
he was out for like 5 minutes, like not moving. That's scary.
It's the scariest knockout since Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell, which I actually think is the scariest knockout. If it's not the scariest of all time, it's right up there. I can't think of one. I truly thought he was dead. I didn't think Hermanson was dead, but then he just kept not getting up. And that got scarier as it was minute 5, minute 6 of him still being out.
The tone was dark.
It was tough, man.
Dark. Dominic Reyes getting knocked out by Yuri Prochazka is right up there. That was real bad.
Okay, oh yeah.
So yeah, Greg Rodriguez gets it done. Job for Jack Hermanson. Hope he's doing okay. Jose Delgado knocks out Hyder Emil in 26 seconds.
Didn't see that, but that's impressive.
Yeah, damn good performance. Tracy Cortez gets the win back in the win column. Terrence McKinney doing Terrence McKinney things, winning in 55 seconds.
This is the best matchmaking you've ever seen. Yep. That matchmaking is A+. Whoever that was, Sean Shelby, McMahon, whichever one of you.
Jacoby Smith gets his first career submission win over Nico Price.
I would have had an unbelievable night if he hadn't done that.
And if we were playing a game of like top 5 fighters whose stock rose tonight, Alvin Hines is on that list, and he lost to Jonathan Deniz. People just love him. They love Alvin Hines. Dude, he's the new Parker Porter. I called it yesterday. He's the new Parker Porter.
He's got great energy. Boys.
Yeah, you just want to root for the guy. You just want to root for him. So there is a couple comments I want to get to, and I want to go to the super chats.
If you have questions, fire them in.
Yeah, we're not going to be here for a very long time. I can tell you that right now.
I'll just live on Mike's couch. I'll be here as long as y'all want. Mike can go to bed. I'll just be answering your questions.
Yes. Sky River Rain. If you're a young grappler like Muhammad Mokaev, you have to win 30 in a row to get a title shot, but a striker like Van could get it done in about 3 weeks. I don't fully agree with this.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because look, what Mokaev did after his first 2 fights and how we all viewed him as a prospect, he could have done the same thing. But here's a couple of problems. One, Mokaev was not all that active. And the other thing is Mokaev just got to a point where he just did not want to hurt anyone. He just
trying to Damian Maia.
Yeah, and you can't do that. And plus, I mean, just listen to how the UFC and people talked about Muhammad Mokaev. He's a pain in the ass. Josh Van does not strike me as a guy who's a pain in the ass. Seems like a pretty good, solid guy who is respectful to company employees and treats everybody with respect. And by the way, is also a really fun fighter, and he's very good. So that'll get you up there pretty quick.
The fun fighter part, I think, is just like, I think Muhammad Mokaev is one of the 5 best flyweights on earth.
Look what he did to Cody Durden in his debut. That was so electric.
Yeah, and he can be fun, but if you watch his fights, they mostly sucked. And then he might find a finish at the end or in the 3rd round, but they were just not entertaining. And this is an entertainment business, and nobody has ever watched a Josh Van fight and been like, you know what? Kind of boring. They flashed the stat on the thing. He has 6 fights in a row with over 100 significant strikes. You can be a fun, active kamikaze grappler that people would love too. That's just much less of a thing, just stylistically. But there's a kernel of truth to what you're saying here, but I think it's painting with a really broad brush that's not necessarily appropriate.
Perfect example of a grappler of that nature. Look at how we spoke about Alexander Romanov.
Dude,
that dude just...
Dude, look at Brandon Royval, the grappler. Before Brandon Royval became, this.
The dude just...
he was an absolute psychopath kamikaze grappler. You can be that guy, and that guy's fun as hell.
Yep. All right.
You have to be fun. I can't... I've been in this game a long time, and I'm trying to tell guys like Rome Murphy and Leon Edwards. And like, if you can't be fun in the cage, you got to be fun somewhere else, because you got to be fun. Like, Ilia Topuria's rise is not just that he has star power and aura. It's because it's fun to watch him fight because he kills people.
Yes. Spencer, Jed, I want you to know I was in the same boat of wanting Ilya Charles first. We saw it. Ilya's a freak. I now need Ilya Islam someday. Number one on earth. Can't stand with him. Can Ilya be the biggest pay-per-view star since Conor McGregor?
Yes, but I don't know how much.
He will not be anywhere near the.
He's not going to be there because no one's ever going to be a big pay-per-view star anymore in that way. Like it just doesn't work. I mean, I've thought for a long time Ilya had the chance to be the next McGregor, the sort of next best thing. And he's going, like, if he gets the Paddy fight, like, again, that's how you elevate, right? Like, that is it. He then needs a Habib to really lift, which I guess is Islam theoretically, but we'll see if that fight ever comes to fruition. I would guess that those two men fight. Like, I'd say it's more likely than not those two men fight before their careers are done. The circumstances, we'll see. But like, he's like I said, he's taken every correct step of like, all right, I'll fight Josh Emmett. And then, all right, I'm going to fight Alex and I kill Alex. And now, you know what? Like, after the Alex fight, he could have said, I'm just going to quit and go up. No, Max Holloway is a beloved figure that will elevate me with a win. You know, again, I would have preferred he did more at featherweight, but this is one he had to do at featherweight. And then it's, do I want to fight Diego Lopez? Do I want to fight Alex again? These would, if he combined those, right? Like if he added 3, 4, 5 featherweight title defenses, that would work together. Or I'll just go fight Charles, a beloved figure and a guy I can kill immediately and get a second belt. And now I can fight Paddy, who is very famous and very popular. And maybe he does get one more. Maybe the Islam fight doesn't happen right after that for one reason or another. And it is an Arman Sarukian who has picked up a win, or Justin Gaethje wins, or whatever. Like, he's doing all the steps to build a star. The sport isn't what it was in a way that we get another Conor. I don't think that's ever happening again. Yeah. But he's going to be the next best thing, the best we can get in this iteration of it.
So he will be, he's going to be pushed and presented as like a company face that they will get behind. But again, the days of selling 1 million pay-per-views they're over. It's just not going to happen. There's not a fighter that competing in mixed martial arts right now of any age or era that is selling 1 million pay-per-views right now. Conor, if he came back, maybe, but even then it's a tough sell to get that, because people just don't want to spend $85 to watch
I will say
6 out of 10 UFC pay-per-view for the most part.
I'll say there's a world, because Dana is really coming out in favor of we're doing the TKO boxing thing. Because that is the other big piece. Like, Conor was a star and Conor was selling million pay-per-view buys thing. The thing that launched Conor to genuine global phenomenon that everyone knew was the Mayweather fight. And the UFC is not inclined to ever do that again unless it's in their own boxing promotion. Now, who Ilia would fight for that is a bigger question, right? Like, I don't know who would be the guy there, because like I think he's too small for Canelo, though maybe you could do that. But like, if he could get something like that, yeah. But like, he's gonna be he's probably not the biggest star in the UFC right now, though maybe he is. Again, the other part, he's 28 years old. He's got many years to stack stardom on top and really, really get to someplace special. I just don't think we'll ever get to Conor again.
Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not going to happen. And that's fine. That's just the nature of the beast right now.
I'm a huge fan of this comment from Duke Mad Duck. Mateusz Rebecki versus Ilia Topuria would be crazy.
It would be.
It sure would be. That fight has a 0% chance of ever happening.
100%. RS40, Ilia has the best 3 consecutive win streak of all time. Can he become the Michael Jordan of MMA, and UFC is making this look easy and it's scary?
I don't know, man. Maybe. I'm not sure. I do think I think there's a really good argument that this is the best 3-fight win streak. I'd have to really dig into like say for sure. It's definitely up there. Again, I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum. I will just caution us that this is an incredible accomplishment, but all three men are also very likely not at the peak of their powers. So like this isn't knocking out Alex, Max, and Charles. I mean, they are still elite fighters. This is not bad wins, but this is not knocking. Frankly, 3 years ago, this run would have been ungodly, and now this run is. I think I picked him in all three fights.
Yeah.
So like not unheard of, but an incredible performance, an incredible 3-fight performance, and like yeah, that's the thing. Like how his career has gone. So it's a good start for an all-time great career. Where I have questions, and the thing is where's he going to make the run? Because you have to, unless he wins the welterweight belt and does something no one's ever done, which could happen. Not saying that can't. The currency of greatness, not just in this sport, in all sports, but certainly in combat sports, is title reigns. Like that, it is doing this. It's not just like we were talking about the watch party. BJ Penn is a beloved figure. And there's a big chunk of time where BJ Penn was your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. Where if you asked any of the best fighters in the world, who's the best guy you've ever seen? It was BJ and Fedor.
Yep.
And BJ is a beloved fighter, but BJ is beloved because of what he did, because he won the welterweight belt and then fought Lyoto Machida at heavyweight and fought Henzo and fought freaking Gomi and Rumble in the Rock and did all this sort of bouncing around and fighting to fight and taking on big, exciting, interesting challenges. BJ, the guy that became remembered as an all-time great in a different in the way that we traditionally think, is the dude who ran lightweight for a couple of years. And now, because BJ did all of that, BJ's probably like the 4th best lightweight of all time. Like, because he didn't spend the time to focus on the currency of greatness in the sport. Unless Ilia wins the welterweight belt and just becomes unparalleled in some way, he got to make a real title run. And we've yet to see him that interested in that. Maybe that'll change. He's still young. It could. I do want to see that from him, though.
Let's keep going. Spencer, love the coverage all week. Fight of the year. Pants gets to 4 defenses. Pants, Ilia, and Islam, who gets the most title wins in their career.
Pants, Ilia, and Islam, who gets the most title wins. So I'm assuming not defenses. That's correct. Because Ilia has 4, but he's not.
I'm saying, yeah, it's probably defenses.
Well,
championship fight win.
I will say Pants is the one, because Pants is committed to defending his belt, and it's not in vogue. But like he this week was like, I don't care about fighting Merab, which is that's the thing, is a little bit of a shame, because now that he's done this so much, I'm like, I'd really like to see him fight Merab. No. But like he's the guy who's just committed to doing this, to building a legacy. He's already the 2nd greatest flyweight, and now it's just putting gap between him and the next best guy. And so there's absolutely a world, and I hope this world is not the case, because we would all be lesser for it. There's a world where Ilia beats Patty, gets the Islam fight, whether it's Islam comes back down because Islam failed against JDM or whatever, beats Islam and just says, man, I'm done. Like, what else am I going to do? Like, what do I have to prove? Like, he may absolutely be one of those guys who retires at 30 because he's accomplished a lot and can clearly do other things. And that would suck for us. But to answer the sort of previous question here, like, if he does that, he's not going to be Michael Jordan, because he can't. Like, you can't. Like, if Michael Jordan had retired after the 3rd ring, people would be like, man, all-time great, could have been the greatest ever, retired after 3 rings. We say that about Khabib. Like, Khabib, there's absolutely a world where Khabib is the best fighter I've ever seen and might still be. He can't be known as the greatest because of that. So we just have to see. And that's what's fun about fighting, is we get to see with him. We don't have to wish cast and like force this. We just get to watch his career play out, and it might be one of the greatest you've ever seen.
2 last questions before we get out of here, or a question and a comment. Stephen Boys, Jed, if you were in Nepali and they offered you goat, would you giggle and make a Jones joke? I hope Casey ranks Pants number 1 pound for pound. He deserves it.
I've definitely eaten goat before. I mean, it was fine. And I would always make a Jones joke. because chickens cannot be goats.
Joseph's asking a bunch of questions. I'm going to pick one. Where are the Joseph questions?
I do not believe Ilia is better than Khabib at this point in time, but if you want to make the argument, I'm open to it. And I assume he will retire better than Khabib because I assume we still have at least a few fights from him.
I'm not going to answer the gate question because it's clear that they overcharged for a Conor McGregor fight that didn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
The pants, we already discussed the pants family. Dana, the Ali thing means nothing. Absolutely nothing to Dana.
Doesn't care.
Literally nothing because he shit on, I mean, he didn't shit on Justin Gaethje, but he basically said, like, if Justin wants to retire, like, get the fuck out. Like, do that.
I don't think this is the comment from For Smokin'. I don't believe this is true, but this is the closest I've been to believing it could be true. They're going to make a 165 class for Ilia. I don't think they will because Dana is so adamantly against it, and I'm frankly on board with Dana in this regard.
Yep.
If they're gonna do it, like they've been throwing everything behind this kid to some extent for really good reason. It would not shock me. Like this is the only time I'd be like, I could squint my eyes and see them being like, "Hey, screw it, let's do it."
I doubt it.
I do doubt it, but it's not 0%.
All right, so we'll go with this because we didn't mention her. Really, Tracy Cortez wins tonight. Where does that put her in the women's flyweight division? Literally, this did nothing for her. I mean, it's good win to get her back, and she had a moment on the mic with Joe Rogan, but beating Viviane Araújo, who is what, 38?
38. And tough scenes. Didn't get a finish because Tracy Cortez has never finished anyone. That's which we're grateful and happy about.
But she's and the problem is she could be a star.
I mean, to be fair, the opposite of Josh Van. Did elevate her because Araújo was number 8, so Cortez will now go to number 8 in the UFC.
So that helps a little bit, but
one behind Rose Namajunas,
who she lost to dominantly. So,
but maybe she
does have a win over Jasmine.
Maybe she gets a Manon Fior fight. You know, Fior's coming off a loss; she's gonna have to fight back.
That's gonna be tough.
Maybe she gets Macy Barber if Macy clears up her issues. I think they're going to give Grasso somebody that they'd be more interested in bumping, but
we'll
see. It's always good to win, and she gets to elevate up the rankings, but she's not remotely
in the championship conversation. No, not even close. And the biggest problem is not because her skill set couldn't get her there. She is the opposite of Josh Van. Josh Van fights all the time. Tracy doesn't.
And he's fun.
Yeah, Tracy doesn't fight. She fights once a year. That's not going to do it.
It's tough.
Especially in this division when you have the Natty Ices who are fighting consistently and the Blanchfields who are fighting or at least trying to fight. Jasmine Jasudavicius fights like every 3 months. Like she's always out there. She's top 5.
And it's really helped her career.
100%. And she's beating the shit out of everybody. So that's what you got to do. Miranda Maverick like lost to Rose, but like she's got buzz behind her because she gave Rose a tough fight. She did it with one leg. Like these are the things you have to do to get over. So if Tracy can get 3 fights in a year, that's going to help her.
I mean, in this weight class for sure.
Do you throw her in there with Andrade? Like, is that what we're doing? Just give her the vet test?
Anything's fine in there. I think you throw her. I don't think Tracy Cortez is someone that gets built to a title fight. So I think you throw her as a rebound fight for Manon to be like, hey, let's get Manon a win. I think Manon would handle that up fairly easily.
Yeah,
you just like, hey, let's just get Manon. Let's let Manon rebound as opposed to putting Manon in there in a fight that maybe is tougher, maybe she loses, and I think you want to keep her up there.
I also wouldn't hate, even though the rankings are different, I wouldn't hate throwing her to give it. If Erin Blanchfield wants to fight, give her Tracy. There's a history there.
Totally fine.
There's a storyline there. Tracy holds a win over Erin Blanchfield, which I don't think should have been a win.
Correct. Honestly, that actually might be the right answer. Yeah. I totally, because in my head, I don't think that because Tracy didn't win that fight. Like I just did. Like that's absolutely the right answer, probably.
Yeah. I think we're good. What a night.
It was a terrific night.
I think we got all the super chats in. Post-fight presser, I believe, is going on, so you can go tune into that stream. We'll have plenty more coverage talking about this because there is no UFC event this week. So we're going to talk
about Jake Paul won.
Who gives a fuck? God, he's just...
Yeah, but now that we mentioned it, we can put it in the notes.
Yeah,
get that SEO, baby.
Again, I'm not hearing this, but our editor, our boss, is saying that Nikisa at the post-fight presser conference has compared Jake Paul to Kobe Bryant. So, boy, this is gonna be a rough year.
I mean, there is a way to make that comparison that I won't make on air because I don't want to deal with the backlash. But just go look at their Wikipedias, and there's some overlap.
Fair enough.
That's the only overlap between those two human beings.
Yeah, fair enough. But again, in terms of the coverage for UFC 317, AK and I believe we're going to go at 11:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow for on to the next one. So we'll let you guys sleep in a little bit, let you chill out.
I'm sorry, you did make a mistake.
What happened?
That's back-to-back MMA Fighting Fantasy League champion, AK.
Oh, yes.
Great title. No, he was so far ahead, and then Josh Van just kept fighting.
Yep. And that's how you pick.
That's it. Josh Van fought 3 times.
Kevin Holland's gonna be like my first pick.
It was a monster pick.
Like that's Jazza Jastavizi was like my most valuable play. Because she fought twice.
Yeah, dude. If you get the double,
got 2 big
the
wins.
double up's huge. That was
so absolutely massive. So matchmaking tomorrow with myself and AK. BTL will be Tuesday this week. Just
dude, Van got 600 points. I think 550 was the points for it.
It's fucking crazy.
So many points.
That is just absolutely nuts. But look at get like Casey drafted Min Yang Zhang. Like,
yeah,
which would
Casey got Marab. I mean, Marab did a lot of work.
He's gonna knock out Johnny Walker, so like maybe he keeps him. Who's he gonna keep? It's gonna be a great question.
Tune in next week.
Yes.
We do our season 3 draft next week. I think we're gonna go Wednesday, but we gotta show up details.
Yes, we'll get it done. For Jed, I am Mike Heck. Thank you for sticking with us all night. You're the best. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Love y'all.